proceed. Madam Prosecutor, are you ready?
Yes.
Madam Defendant, are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court reporter, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Bring it with you. Going to jury box. The two remaining will be my alternates that will be in the back. So I got 6, and my 2 are going to be over in the back. Okay. Madam Prosecutor, are you ready to do the opening statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Proceed.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I'm Mayo Wright, the Assistant Prosecution Attorney, and today you'll hear about the case of a 3-year-old child who was threatened to care of his father. You'll hear from multiple witnesses, such as the responding officers, who explain the defendant's behavior, which was pacing, avoiding eye contact, and rubbing his head. You will hear from the detectives who explained the defendant gave vague and unclear answers and failed to provide any explanation. You'll hear from the doctors who explained that the injuries were not consistent with a simple low-height fall and more consistent with inflicting trauma. The evidence today will show that the defendant was alone with the child at the time of their injuries and he failed to call 911. At the end of this trial, we'll actually return a verdict of guilty.
Madam Defense Attorney, opening statement.
Yes, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I stand here before you with my counsel to defend the innocence of Ricardo Foreman, a father, a present father. He showed up for his son that day. He wanted to support him more than just financially. He wanted to show him love. He wanted to show him that he cares about him. Today, the prosecution will try to show you unwilling, unfair statements and wrong evidence. But don't let that waver you from showing that Ricardo Foreman was a willing father. He is a therapist. He cares for his son. He knows how to handle his emotions. He knows how to show his love for his son. Today we will show you, through evidence and witness testimonies, that Ricardo Foreman is innocent and loves his son, and he would not want anything like this to hurt. He would not want anything like this to happen to him ever, in any form or any shape or way. Thank you.
Madam Prosecutor, are you ready to present your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
We would like to invoke the rule of sequestration.
All witnesses that are going to testify, go outside and, well, just go ahead and go around. Where's Carl? Where's Carl? Madam Prosecutor, call the first witness.
We would like to call Gabrielle Jones, CCC.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
Good occupation for the record.
My name is Gabriella Jones, and I'm a 911 certified emergency communications dispatcher with the City Emergency Services Department.
And what training do you have as a 911 dispatcher?
I have been working in emergency communications for 9 years.
Did you receive a call on April 12th, 2026?
I did.
And what did the call notify you of?
I got a call from a woman who later identified herself as Taylor Webb. She seemed very distressed, and she kept insisting that her 3-year-old son was injured and she needed help. Her voice was very shaky, and she was shocked, but she was still coherent enough to answer my questions. I asked her what happened, and she said that her son was hurt, and she needed immediate assistance. And then I asked if anyone else was in the room with her. She said that the father was in there, but he wasn't doing anything. I then asked if I could speak with the father to see if I could get another perspective from the situation. And she insisted on him taking the film, but he did not say anything or take the film. I didn't hear him throughout the entire interaction.
And what time was the call received?
At 7:45 p.m.
Did she call immediately after the child fall?
Yes.
And no further questions.
Oh.
Cross-examination.
Good morning, Ms. Gabriella.
Good morning.
Can you state your name for the jury?
Gabriella Jones.
So where do you work and what's your job?
I work in the emergency communications department, and I am a 911 dispatcher.
How long have you worked as a 911 operator?
I've been working in emergency communications for 9 years.
What time did you get that call that day?
At 7:45
Objection, Your Honor. Absent answer.
Sustained.
When you took that call, did the caller seem distraught at any point?
Yes, she did.
Your Honor, I would like to submit a recording of the call.
Yes, the emergency.
118 Willow Court.
Repeat the address for verification.
118 Willow Court.
And what's the phone number going from?
757-405-6767.
Repeat that phone number for verification.
757-405-6767.
All right, tell me exactly what happened.
I don't know. He's hurt. Just send somebody. Ricardo, can you please talk to him and tell him what happened?
Listen carefully. I need you to tell me exactly what happened.
I don't know. I wasn't in the room, and he was just sitting there, and won't tell me what happened. I was in the kitchen while my son was with his father in the living room, and I heard my son crying, and I ran in, and he only told me he fell off the couch.
Are you with your son now?
Yes, I am.
How many people are hurt?
Just my son.
How old is your son?
He's 3.
Is your child conscious and breathing?
Yes, he's conscious, but he's crying.
How far did he fall?
He fell from the couch.
What caused the fall?
I told you, I left the room and came back to this. He won't tell me anything else. We're divorced, and he's here to just hang out with my son, and I knew I shouldn't have left the room.
Okay, is there any serious bleeding?
No, not that I can see.
Is he completely alert?
Yes, he's crying.
Okay, what part of the body was injured?
It looks like his head's hurt.
Is he still on the floor?
No, he's with me.
Alright, I'm sending the paramedics to help you now. Stay on the line and I'll tell you exactly what to do next.
Please hurry.
Do not move him unless he's in danger, and don't split any injuries. Help is on the way right now.
Thank you.
From now on, don't let him have anything to eat or drink. It might cause him to be sick or cause further problems.
Okay, I won't let him eat.
Don't move him unless it's absolutely necessary. Just tell him to be still and wait for help to arrive.
Okay.
I want you to watch him very closely.
Okay, I'm watching him.
If he becomes less awake or vomits, quickly lay him on his side.
Okay.
Before the responders arrive, please put away any pets, gather his medications, unlock the door, turn on the outside lights, and have someone flag the paramedics.
Okay, I will. Ricardo, why won't you talk to them?
Ma'am, can you please tell me his full name and date of birth?
Ricardo Foreman, and his date of birth is May 16th, 1998.
Okay, has this happened before?
No, it hasn't. Oh, the ambulance just got here.
Okay, ma'am, what is your name?
My name is Taylor Webb.
Okay, go ahead and speak with the medics.
Thank you.
Gabriella. it, did anything seem off about the call? When you first took the call, did you notice any signs that maybe threw you off with your experience?
I did find it unusual that he didn't say anything during the entire call, but that's,
Okay, but in your experience, panic can cause vague answers, right? Have you ever had a call that maybe it wasn't a lot of information?
yes.
No further questions.
Please step down. Call your next witness.
Yeah, go right here, what's it? Can you put up the crucifix?
Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I did.
Proceed.
Could you please state your full name and occupation for the record?
Ryder Harold, I'm a police officer.
Is that your full job title?
Yeah.
Where are you employed? Where are you employed?
Here, in Chesapeake.
Please
Are
state
you
your
in
name for the
the
record.
Chesapeake Area Center?
How long have you worked there?
I've been working for 2 years.
How long did you go to the police academy?
Police Academy, I was there for 3 months. However long it took me, and then before that, I was there for 3 weeks.
And you graduated?
I did.
Were you on duty on April 12, 2026?
I was.
At what time?
I was there at the night time, so responding, got the call at 7:45, and I arrived there at 8:15.
And you responded to a call at Miss Taylor Webb's residence?
Yes,
Did you arrive with another officer?
I did.
What was her name?
Keys, Simpson.
When you first arrived on scene, what did you first observe?
I observed the living room. I mean, it was kind of tidy, but you know, 3-year-old kid, it's kind of hard to get too tidy. So there was toys, and I noticed that the kid was crying, but he was already being assessed by EMS. And I saw some handlers on him, yeah, but that's about it.
So you said EMS arrived before you did?
Yeah.
Your report states, quote unquote, you observed a juvenile identified as NR. What did you observe? Can you describe it?
I mean, there was a kid crying. I just saw the evidence. I saw a few burn wounds, but I mean, I didn't look too far into it. I couldn't really make it out because it was already with somebody else, so I don't want to.
And going back to when you entered the residence, it was clean.
As clean as you would think. I mean, young child.
So you would say there was no evidence of child neglect or he was well fed?
Objection, Your Honor, improper opinion. He's not a social worker, he wouldn't know the kind of environment a child would need to be properly taken care of. He was there to assess the scene.
Your response.
I was just asking if he has a bed in his bed.
Orally. Answer the question.
Yes, it did what it was yet.
When you first, after you observed NR, what individuals did you interview?
Can you say it louder?
What individuals did you interview?
Ricardo Fleming too.
Is that it? How would you describe Taylor Webb?
Taylor was distraught. I mean, her baby was crying. She said that she saw that he was like crying early, but I didn't think she even know why. Because it was her mom. I think his mom. Yeah, we all got it for her. She seemed distraught. Upset.
How would you describe the defendant?
He a little nervous. I mean, his kid just is hurt, and too nervous. He told me that he fell. That's it. He just said he fell.
He didn't provide any other details. So you spoke to the defendant, and those were the only details he provided. Did he avoid eye contact and face?
Yeah, he was shaking my legs.
In your professional experience dealing with suspects, is this consistent with someone who was lying or hiding something?
Objection, Your Honor. She's leaving the witness to direct this question.
Response.
I'm asking in his professional opinion, is this something that he deals with on a daily basis?
Or
Yes, usually I do. Emergencies, something around.
So did he provide any conclusive explanation of the incident? Was his behavior unusual for a father whose child was severely injured?
Kind of, I mean, he could just deliver this because something else happened, I don't know. But he said he felt he was, that's all he seemed hurt.
No further questions, Your Honor.
cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Moore. Good, how are you? Could you state for the court your bachelor? And you said that you spent 3 months in the academy? But police academy for the Chesapeake Career Center, police is 6 months long. And you mentioned that you noticed burns on the child's body,
That's right, I was surprised.
but you did see burns, you said. But on the day of the incident, the child had a onesie on. And so how would you see the burns that were covered on his bicep, shoulder, and back if it was covered by the onesie?
Because he was being assessed by the parents.
His clothes were taken.
He lost one minute.
How long have you been an officer?
Officer for 2 years.
When you arrived at the scene, who was present?
EMS, we're still waiting on CPS to arrive. They didn't show up yet. I showed my other officer.
Was the defendant on the scene and cooperating when you asked questions? At any point, did he show signs of aggravation, frustration toward you while you were asking questions? And he answered all your questions. Did he try to leave or avoid speaking to you? And
Answer the question, not gestures.
And when, were you there when EMS left?
Yes.
And you saw the defendant get on the ambulance and leave with the child?
I didn't see him getting today, so I didn't.
Was the well-being of the child? Could you describe the child and his body language when he walked into the scene?
That's what you expected from said.
He was
Should you
crying.
speak up louder so the jury can hear you?
Said it's here.
He was crying,
Yes.
but he was conscious.
Yes.
And when you saw the child, did he happen to have recognized bruises on his eyes?
I would need to see an example of recognize, not familiar with that.
Would you be okay with me giving you an explanation of what that is?
Sure.
You are familiar with a black eye?
I am. Yes.
Raccoon eyes would be both his eyes looking like he had two black eyes.
I mean, not like something noticeable, crazy, being real dark around the eyes, but it makes me cry. I mean, I'm not sure.
No further question.
All right, next witness.
We would like to call Kaylee Simpson to sign.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Proceed.
Good morning. Could you state your name and occupation for the record?
Kaylee Simpson, a police officer.
And how long have you been a police officer?
About 2 years.
And what training do you have in this career field?
I went to the police academy when I was 19.
And were you working on the night of April 12th, 2026?
Yes.
Were you dispatched to a crime scene?
Yes.
What did you examine when you got to the crime scene?
I was with my partner and we observed that the child had a skull fracture. Well, we just knew that he was going to be crying.
And how did the parents act?
I felt like everyone was emotional at the time. I said everyone was just antsy.
Did you examine the child?
No.
Okay, and did you speak to Mrs. Webb? Did she provide any additional information?
No, my partner did.
Okay. And based on your training and experience, was the defendant's behavior consistent with what you would normally observe?
Yes.
No further questions.
Cross.
Yes, sure. Good morning, Ms. Simpson.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Ms. Simpson, could you tell us about your educational background?
Well, I graduated from high school, from my second high school, and then I started just working a regular 9-to-5 job until I turned 19 and was able to get into the police academy.
And when did you graduate school?
2020.
Ms. Simpson, how many years do you have of experience with the police department?
About 2.
And how old are you now?
I'm 23.
You stated that would you say that the child's injuries raised concern?
Yes.
And what were those injuries?
I could just visually see that it was a mark on his head. I can't really say what it was. So, but I did see that he was crying a lot and he was just crying.
Could you describe that mark? What exactly do you mean by the mark?
The mark, it was just like, I don't know how to explain it necessarily. I didn't fully examine it.
But just from what you saw, give us your list.
It was just like a big like scratch on the top of his head.
A scratch on the top of his head?
Yes.
And could you walk us through the process you had when you responded to that incident?
I respectfully let my partner handle most of the statements and everything, but I was just there with him. Just basically, if he needed any help, I was gonna be there.
But you walked through the process with him?
Yes.
So what did that process look like?
He took a statement from Taylor after we like assessed the situation inside the home, and then we just took a statement from Taylor. She was. I feel like she was just like sad and didn't know what was wrong with the child. I didn't see anything that was really awkward or weird or anything.
And on the day of the incident, did you watch EMS arrive, or were they already there?
No, they arrived after us.
They right after you. And did you watch EMS leave, or had you already left from EMS?
I believe we left around the same time, but I think we left first.
You left before EMS?
Yes.
So you did not see them leave?
Did I not see EMS?
No, you did not see them leave.
Oh, no.
Okay. When speaking of the child himself, what would you say his body language was like? What did you observe?
I feel like he was just crying. He didn't really have like any very bad body language except for the fact that he was crying and like just shouting visibly, maybe like turning a bit red just from crying.
And from the injuries, all you saw was his head,
Yes.
no burns.
No.
EMS had not stripped him.
No.
No further questions.
Redirect.
Ms. Simpson, in your 2 years of being a cop, that's correct, right?
Yes.
Have you ever been on stand
Objection,
before?
she led the witness by asking her, you've been a cop for 2 years, instead of asking how many years have you been a cop.
Your response.
She said 2 years.
She said on the record as well as the defendant that she was a police officer for 2 years. Overruled.
In your 2 years of experience, have you ever been on stand?
No.
Right, so this is your first time.
Yes.
Are you a little nervous?
Yes.
It's completely normal, right? So some of the facts that you stated, they might not be completely correct regarding the time you arrived.
Objection, Your Honor. She's being nervous. Telling her that she is nervous instead of asking her if she's nervous.
Sustained. Question. Don't do that.
Are you nervous?
Yes.
So, I mean, this is your first time on stand. You're gonna be nervous. No further questions.
Redirect. Defense.
No, Your Honor.
Make that down. Madam Prosecutor, call the next witness.
Would you like to know anything right on stand?
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay.
Can you state your name and occupation for the record?
My name is Detective Ethan Gregg, and I work for the Chesapeake Career Center Police Department.
And what is your official job title?
So I am a digital forensic specialist, but we all work for the same detectives bureau, and that's just my specialty. So
And what department do you work for?
the Chesapeake Career Center Police Department,
And you've been employed there for how long?
21 years,
How many as a detective?
12.
Do you have any specialized training in any areas of law enforcement?
Digital forensics, that's my big thing right now. I am a detective. I did street work for a couple of years, so I did traffic safety, but other than that.
How did you become involved in this case?
So I was there and the call came out. Me and my partner, Ryan, he saw it before I did, and we went out there. We got there at like 9:17, and from there we just took over.
What was your primary assignment when you first arrived on scene?
Primary assignment was to just really take in the scene. We're taught from the academy to do a windshield overview of the scene. So when you get there, don't overlook anything. Take it as slow as you want. So we saw it was an apartment. It seemed like there was nothing out of the ordinary, really. Kids playing. I shouldn't say kids playing. Kids' toys everywhere. So.
Did you supervise or guide any other staff while on scene?
I had Detective Borski. I had CSI. I know the photographer was there. But
How did you go about identifying the suspects, witnesses, and victims?
So I know my responding officer. He got statements and whatnot. But I mean, other than that, I didn't really have much contact with people up until the interview. I had reached out to him through like an email. My responding officer, he got information to contact people. So I reached out using that information, and I mean, we set up interviews. They were all voluntary. So
Can you walk us through the crime scene?
like I said, it was an apartment. The main area of it was the living room. I know CSI has a sketch of it. There was a couch, some chairs, some kids' toys laying around. Nothing too exciting.
Did you conduct any interviews on scene?
I did not.
So you conducted them?
Correct.
Did you speak to the mother or father on scene?
Did not.
Did you observe or speak with the victim?
I didn't see anything. One of the responding officers, he said he saw the child, but I mean, that was right as EMS was there and everything, so they didn't, really look at it, so.
As for digital forensics, what training do you have for this?
So there's a FBI program. I went there for 6 months, and I was there. I learned a lot to go through my digital stuff. They learned a lot of like accounting stuff, how to trace back phone numbers and everything, do reverse 911. We learned how to recover deleted text messages, all sorts of cool digital stuff. So,
How was the phone secured or protected?
I have a search warrant. It was for any of Ricardo Foreman's belongings. So the phone was, I mean, it's a big thing in every case. So we saw that, and then I saw a recent text message from, I believe it was 6:08 p.m. And it was to his friend Bartholomew, and he was, he just seemed like they agitated.
Would you pull up the text message? This is what was recovered from the phone.
Correct.
Was there any online activity on the phone during the incident?
Not from what we recovered. Like I said, this is the only really pertinent thing that was on the phone. The phone was inactive at the time, so that was the last outgoing anything.
Was there any attempt to call emergency services?
No.
Was there anything else significant recovered from the phone?
Not that I can recall.
Can you pull the mental test for the abuse? Mental test?
On May 12th, 2026, I am Detective Ethan and today we will be doing the cantaloupe drop test on a simulated housing floor. For the simulation of the housing floor, we have a double layer of cardboard and a double layer of carpet simulating Taylor Webb's living room. Our first test will be a non-forcible drop from 38 inches, which is 1 inch higher than MR's height, which simulates him wearing shoes. So, we good for 38? Good. All right. 3, 2, 1. As we can see, there are no cuts, no dents, and no scrapes to the cantaloupe. As you can see, we have that same cantaloupe at 5 foot, and we're also going to do a non and jumping off the edge of the couch. 3, 2, 1. So you can see, the cantaloupe has no dents, no scrapes, still perfectly intact. Okay, 7 foot. Now we'll need to do a 7 foot non-forcible drop test. Perfect. At that same cantaloupe, we'll be doing a 7 foot drop test to simulate and being picked up and dropped on the same carpet floor. Ready? As you can see, he was dropped from that height. The skull may have fractured into the cantaloupe, splintering in half. Okay. Now we will be doing forcible drop test. So I will be shoving this cantaloupe off the edge of this chair, which is 38 inches, to simulate MR plus 1 inch of height for the soles of vision. This will be him forcibly being pushed. Ready? As you can see, cantaloupe perfectly intact. There are no dents and no scrapes. We'll now be doing a 5 foot forcibly test. Foot, and doing a 5 foot force test, simulating him being shoved off the edge of the couch. Ready? 3, 2, 1. As we can conclude from this, he was forcibly pushed off the couch.
Secretary Greg, why did you conduct this initiative?
It was to, basically, so if the cantaloupe could have cracked, then it could have possibly caused a skull fracture as well. I know with younger kids, their skulls are definitely not fully intact yet. There's a bunch of lines in your skull that you can see from that. So with this, we concluded with a 5 foot forcible drop test that it may possibly cause a skull fracture, simulating he could have jumped, he could have been pushed, anything could have happened from that height. From 3 foot, we kind of like shoved him down, simulating he, was standing up, and we shoved him to the ground. We had nothing from that. And so, to answer your question, it was just to simulate his skull.
And what did you conclude?
So from the 5 foot, if he was forcibly pushed, if he jumped, there's many possibilities of what could happen. I can't jump to conclusions, but there's a lot that could happen from that 5 foot height. And then 7 foot non-forcibly, so if he fell from that height, if he was dropped from that height, it could have caused something like that.
Right, but there's nothing in the house that's 7 foot high that he could climb down on.
Correct.
No further questions, Chair.
Cross examination.
Question.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hall.
No.
Could you tell us about your educational background?
So, I have my master's degree in criminal justice. I went to the University of Kentucky for that. But before that, I did some online college through ECPI. I got my bachelor's through there and also in criminal justice. I want to get my PhD. I haven't done that yet, but hopefully before I retire. I also, like I was telling her earlier, I did 6 months in a FBI school for digital forensics. And before that, I also did a traffic safety course that was 3 months long, hosted by Virginia State Police, just to get my traffic stuff beforehand.
But you have no medical education
Correct.
and no physics education.
Correct.
On the day of throughout your investigation, you pulled these texts out of the defendant's phone.
Correct.
And in these texts, did at any point, or even when you went through his phone, did at any point he direct his anger or frustration at the child?
Not to my knowledge.
So there's no evidence on his phone that his anger or frustration was towards his son. And when you conducted the melon drop, right, you took into account force, outside force, right?
Right.
And you took into account his height and the height of the couch.
Right.
Okay. But you did not take into account his body mass and gravity pulling down on his body weight had he fell head first. Because there was no simulator of his body weight behind the melon to do that. So the force was only outside, didn't take into account his body mass and the weight that would have pushed him down on his head. And when you conducted this assessment, you were with your partner, Ryan.
Right.
Does he have any medical background?
Not to my knowledge.
So you both conducted this with no medical knowledge, nor any physics.
Correct.
And no account for the child's body weight.
Right.
Or the fact that he could have fallen on his head and his weight could have pushed him down.
Right.
No further questions.
Read the red.
When you pull these messages from the phone, they're at about 6 p.m.
Correct.
So the defendant was already at the house
Yes, ma'am.
when you sent these text messages.
Yes, ma'am.
And you did take into account that the melon is comparable to a child's head, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions.
Cross.
Is it possible that Ricardo Foreman had texted Bartholomew about events that had happened earlier that day,
Possible.
during the time that he was with his son?
That's also possible.
And
Objection,
You
Your
said-
Honor. Leading the witness.
it's cross-examination, I agree.
I give you latitude, however, the G question, overruled.
When you said that there were no other outlets from his phone during his time with his son.
Yes, ma'am.
So that time was spent completely out of technology. And again, the account that you made on the assessment, what makes the melon an accurate representation of the child's school?
I'm not totally sure. We found some Google research that had it, but it was just a couple websites that showed people doing that.
So you couldn't tell us how accurate it is.
I could.
Thank you. No further questions.
You may shut down. Call your next witness.
Randall or CCC.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Good morning. Could you state your name and occupation for the record?
Brian Gorski, and I'm a detective.
And what training do you have as a detective?
I have 2 years as a detective, but I have 12 years in law enforcement.
And were you working on the night of April 12th, 2026?
Say again?
Were you working on the night of April 12th, 2026?
Yes,
And were you dispatched to 118 Willow Court?
I was.
And what was the dispatch?
What do you mean, what was the dispatch?
Like, what was the call for?
Oh, it was for a child that had a head fracture and 3rd-degree burns.
And did you speak to both parents?
I did not because they're in the hospital.
And did you find any evidence at the scene?
Yes. Or we took evidence of the carpet that he supposedly fell onto.
And did you expect the couch area or the area where he fell?
Yes, we did expect the couch.
And were you notified of the time the child fell?
What do you mean by that? Notified?
The time the child fell, like, did the parents inform you on the exact time the child fell?
I do not have it on the top of my head, but I believe it was around like 6.
And did you view the defendant's text messages?
I did not. My partner did that.
No further questions.
Cross-examination.
Good morning, Mr. Wilson.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. On the day of the incident, when you were dispatched to 118 Willow Court,
Yes, ma'am.
you said you inspected the area around where the incident happened.
Yes, ma'am.
What did you find?
Nothing really. Just we had no. We just looked at the couch and where he fell, and it didn't fit for what happened to him. So
And you and your partner arrived at the scene when is it?
it was 9:17 at night. Yeah.
So you did not get to see the officers or EMS or the child or parents.
No, but the officers. We saw the officers because they were still there on the scene, and we briefed with them to see what they talked to the parents about.
So they had not left with the EMS,
They did not. The officers no.
but EMS was gone.
Yeah, they took the child to the hospital.
You conducted a interview with Ricardo Foreman.
So,
Tell us about how his behavior was during that. Was he cooperative?
like during the interview,
Yes.
yeah, he was a little quiet, and I understand because of the situation, but he was cooperative. He was very nice.
And he answered all your questions.
Most of them, yes.
And during that interview, did at any point you show aggravation, frustration, or anger towards you?
No. It's a good call.
You conducted a assessment with your brother, the melon test.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Let me ask you about your educational background.
Okay.
Tell us a bit about that.
I mean, I have a high school diploma, advanced diploma, and I just went straight to the police department.
You have no college education.
I don't have a college.
How long were you a police officer before you came into Timothy?
10 years, and then now I'm 2 years of detective.
When you conducted this melon test, you had no education above a high school degree, nor any medical experience,
No,
and no physics experience.
no.
What did you take into account when you dropped that melon? Could you tell the court a little bit about that?
Well, gravity, and if a watermelon could split, then maybe a child's skull could split.
Could you tell us about how the melon and the child's skull are similar?
It's kind of just the breaking of the skin, and if the breaking of the skin could happen, and a melon is pretty hard, not as hard as a baby skull, but it kind of just gives like a visual representation of what could have possibly happened.
Could you tell us how accurate of a representation that melon is to a child's skull?
I did not.
I know you took into account, by watching the video, as we all saw, we know you took account the outside force of maybe pushing the child off the couch.
Yes, sir.
you took in consideration no force of the child just falling off the couch. You took into consideration the height of the couch, the height of the child. But you didn't take into consideration his body weight.
No.
So when that melon dropped, there was no body weight representing what MR weighted when he fell. And
Well,
when
that
gravity was pulling him down.
That probably would have helped us out, because saying that if you had added weight added to the melanin, it probably could have had a better cause of actual more damage to his brain and to his brain
So
if he had added weight. So saying that the watermelon was wider or lighter than if it cracks, then what if we added that extra? It was like 30 pounds, if I'm correct. If we added that 30 pounds to the skull, that could actually make it likely that his head did fracture.
yes, it would make it more likely that his head did fracture.
Is that?
So not taking into consideration that body weight makes it inaccurate that the melanin formed itself, because MR wasn't just his head, he was his body as well. And during the investigations as well, you had an interview with Ms. Taylor Webb.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I don't know, we asked some basic questions about their relationship, about MR, about like the house or her house in general. We found no evidence or no reason for the burns. We were confused about that. She's very nice, very cooperative, answered all of our questions.
What can you tell us about what Ms. Taylor Webb told you about the relationship she has with Christopher Parker?
Well, she told us that they ended on mutual terms, and they tried to stay cordial, as she said, try to stay cordial around MR, just so that people would see them arguing. But Ricardo would always find like small little things to get mad about, and that's all I was told.
But they were not together,
They are not together now.
and they do not live in the same place.
No, no. They had he had supervised visits to her house or her apartment.
Okay. And could you tell us why he had supervised visits?
This is September. That's what she told me.
That's why she liked being president.
Yes.
But that was not court ordered that Ricardo Foreman had to be in Ms. Taylor Webb's house being watched by her while he was with his child. I asked you a question, Mr. Wilson.
Oh, that's a question.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know about the court order about that.
Did you find a court order that said that he had to?
We did not know.
No. I'll ask you a question for you, Mr. Wilson. Could you tell us the time the incident happened?
I think it's on the written down. I don't have it on the top of my head. This is the.
Let me help you out. The incident happened around 6:45 p.m.
That sounds about correct.
And the call was made
6:50, I believe. I don't know.
7:45
Oh,
p.m.
7:45, sorry. This was a long time ago. I don't remember the times. I forgot.
You're fine. Could you tell us a little bit about what Ms. Taylor Webb told you, what happened between that 1 hour time frame where the cops were not called, EMS was not called, the child was not driven to the hospital after
No.
falling on his head?
No. Taylor Webb told me that she thought, because after he fell, she thought that it wasn't that bad, and just like, oh, he fell, he'll be fine. And then just as time progressed, he just didn't stop crying, and she was concerned. And then finally called 911 dispatch and was like, I think my child is really hurt. And so that's when they finally made that call.
Right. But during that 1 hour, there was no call, no visits to the hospital.
We did not see any calls in there.
And did they ever tell you that they attempted to aid the child in any way by checking his head to look for the bump that was behind it?
No, neither Foreman or Lisa told me they did that.
Did Ms. Webb tell you what she did during that 1 hour?
No, I don't think that's all.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Redirect. Sit down.
We'd like to call Olivia Hadley to the stand.
Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Can you please state your name and occupation for the record?
I'm Olivia Hadley, and I work for CCC Forensic Science Processor.
And what is your job title?
I'm the crime scene investigator.
How many years of employment have you had this job?
7 years.
Do you have a license?
Yes.
Is it from Virginia?
Yes.
Do you have any degrees?
Yes, I have a bachelor's degree in forensic science. BCU.
What time did you arrive at the scene?
9:12 p.m.
And who were you dispatched by?
I was dispatched by CCC dispatcher.
Can you give us a step-by-step summary of what you first did when you arrived at the scene?
When I first entered the room, in the living room, I analyzed 2 armchairs to the wall. On the right side, there was a chair. The arm of the armchair was 24 inches, and there was no blood. There was no any DNA amount. There was just measuring the tapes, measuring the chairs and the carpets. I collected the carpet and the hardwood and the plywood.
Was anything collected on scene that could have caused the burns?
No.
Did you collect anything else while on scene?
Yes, I collected a 1-inch carpet of piece, and then I collected a 3 1/4 inch plywood, and then 0.75 hardwood.
Those were the questions you were asking.
Cross-examination.
Yes, ma'am. Morning. How long have you been at CSI again?
7 years.
And then the day of April 12th, what time did you arrive at the scene?
9:12 p.m.
And you didn't, and who was there present with you at the time?
The photograph.
Any cops or anything like that? And you collected evidence, right?
Yes.
What was it again?
There was 1-inch carpet, 3 1/4 plywood, and 0.75 of hardwood.
Alright. And just to restate, you didn't collect any evidence, like biological evidence? So this shows that there was no blood, nothing like that? You can't see it either? Did you find any evidence that maybe would have contradict that it was a fall? Did you find a toy in the arm of the couch?
Judge, you didn't answer, so the jury can hear.
Oh, no.
You did not
Your
find
Honor, could I have a recess with my co-counsel?
Your Honor, I would like to submit, Miss Olivia's statement as evidence.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have a paper copy of that, Mr. Assembler.
Yes, you have to cover it.
I need Olivia to read a certain part of it.
Okay.
Can you read?
I'm looking at a plastic glitch on the learning couch. Someone might get draped over the arms.
So you did locate a plastic toilet, but you just told me you didn't. Is it possible that you might have forgotten anything else? If you're able to forget that detail? But you said in that statement, it does say you took photos of it.
Objection, Your Honor, she's not concerned.
It's in her statement that she did.
Overruled.
No more questions.
Redirect.
Back to the armrest of the couch. You stated there was a small blanket on the side of the couch. Was that blanket disturbed in any way?
I said,
Right. I feel like-
Redirect.
Your
Get that done. Call it, please.
We would like to call Catherine Barger to the stand.
Raise your hand. You swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Good morning. Could you state your name and occupation for the record?
Captain Barsley, photographer.
Speak up so the jury can hear you.
Captain Barsley, photographer.
And what training do you have as a photographer?
I got my certification from the Chesapeake Police Department around 2020. I graduated this year.
And were you working on the night of April 12th, 2026?
Yes,
And were you dispatched to a crime scene that night?
yes.
Okay, and what did you observe from the crime scene?
The child wasn't there at the time. The child was in the hospital, but I observed the couch, everything around it.
What did you observe from the couch and around it?
I don't think I paid too much attention to the couch because directly after I was dispatched to the hospital.
And did you take any photos while you were at the crime scene?
I took photos in the hospital.
Okay, and did you examine the child?
I did not examine the child, but I took photos of the child.
And did any of the injuries in the photo raise any concern?
So he did not.
No further questions.
Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Captain.
Come on.
So when did you take these pictures?
I took these pictures around 9:12. Yeah, I arrived with the forensic officer.
And what did you photograph?
I photographed the child in the hospital bed as well as all the things around the bed.
I'm sorry, what was that? Sorry?
As well as all the things around the bed.
Did you photograph anything in the actual apartment?
No,
So we have no photographs and no sketches of the scene.
not for me, no.
No further questions.
You ready? Sit down.
We'd like to call Kira Broadwater to stand.
Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Dr. Kira Carter.
And you are Taylor Buck's next door neighbor.
Yes.
How long have you lived next door to this Buck?
3 years.
Have you spoken to her before?
Yes.
Can you describe her for me?
She seems like a cool person. I don't speak to her a lot, just sometimes when I see her.
And you said you've lived next to her for 3 years, correct?
Yes.
Have you ever noticed anything unusual?
No.
Does the defendant come over often that you've seen?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Does the defendant come over often?
I've seen him before, but not like too often.
Have you spoken with him?
No.
Have you seen Ms. Webb and the defendant interact before?
I've only seen him come in and out. I haven't seen her with him.
In your statement, you said you heard raised voices coming from next door. Could you make out the voices when they were speaking?
No.
Have you ever heard anything like this come from anyone before? Is this unusual?
Yes, it is.
You said, quote unquote, a few minutes later, I heard a loud thump. That was indicative of the child being dropped. Do you remember what happened after?
Like a few moments. I mean, I wouldn't even say a few moments, but after that happened, I did hear the ambulance. It wasn't a few moments after, it was like an hour after.
And do you confirm that you reported everything accurately in your statement?
Yes.
Okay, before we do cross, can we, interchange the cross bench? Order in the court. Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Burns.
Good morning,
Just state your name for the court one more time.
Kira Carter.
And you are the doctor?
I'm a neighbor.
But you did just mention you were a doctor when she was questioning, correct?
Yes.
Were you the doctor at the scene?
No, I don't.
Okay. When you heard the thump,
Yeah.
could you make out what it was?
No.
Could it have been a very heavy object?
It could.
Could it have been a mark?
It could have.
And when you heard the arguing, did it sound like arguing between two adults or shouting to a child? Could you describe what the shouting sounded?
It sounded like a woman's voice and a man's voice being exchanged.
Mhm.
So it sounded like two adults.
And moments later, you heard the thump.
Yes.
Could you tell us approximately how long those moments were?
Maybe like 5 minutes.
And how long did that shouting last?
It didn't last long, like a few minutes.
So it was more like a quick exchange of loud words. Almost like it could be, grab me the remote controller. I'm on my way, I'm cooking dinner. Like that.
I guess. Yeah.
And do you often I will draw.
Sustained.
When do you usually see him on?
I've seen it before, not a lot though. But yeah.
So he doesn't usually come out of the house?
I mean, I'm a busy person, so I'm not really worried about who goes in and out of the house. But I don't see him a lot, so I don't know where he's at. But I've seen him a couple times, so I don't know.
Could you describe how often you see Mr. Reporter?
Maybe like 3 or 4 times.
A month, a week, a day?
It's not a constant thing. I just have seen him.
3 or 4 times
Yeah.
in the last 3 years?
Yes.
And you stated that you don't usually hear shouting or screaming from next door?
I mean, there's a kid right there, so of course it's gonna be some noise, but I don't hear him shouting or.
Arguing?
Yeah.
What was your question?
Redirect. You may step down. Call your next.
We'd like to call Tyler Hayes and Sam.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Can you state your name and occupation for the record?
Tyler Hayes, EMT.
Is that your official job title?
Yes,
Where are you employed?
the Chesapeake Career Center, EMS.
How many years have you worked in this area?
About 3.
What's your certification?
I graduated from CCC with my associate's degree. And certified new EMT.
Were you on duty on April 12th?
Yes,
Around what time?
started at maybe 3:30 p.m.
Did you work through the night?
Yes,
How were you notified of the emergency?
I got dispatched by 911.
What was said in the call?
I don't remember.
What time did you arrive on scene?
8:05.
PM?
Yes.
Can you describe the scene conditions?
It was pretty much everything in place. It was just a lot of overwhelmed people.
Can you describe those people?
Ricardo, Foreman, that's the father, and then Harold Webb, that's the mother, and then the son was crying.
How would you describe the parents?
Overwhelmed, no nothing. Distraught.
Where was the patient when you first arrived?
He was near his father, in the, living room.
What condition was he in?
I guess he was injured, something was wrong. But those things you couldn't tell. I couldn't tell until I got to the ambulance.
Were there any visible signs of trauma?
Yes, around his eyes there were purple rings indicating he had raccoon eyes.
Can you describe what that is?
Medical term is like just proof that it's in the head injury somewhere.
Was the patient conscious?
Yes,
Was he speaking?
yes.
What was he saying?
He was saying things like I was my mother and things like that.
Did you provide any immediate medical treatment on scene?
No.
You transported the patient off scene, correct?
Yes.
And you wrote
Objection, Your Honor. She said you transported the patient off scene, correct? She's stating for it.
That's what you wrote in the statement.
But you didn't quote him. He testified for it.
Did you transport the patient
Yes.
to what hospital?
Chesapeake Career Center, General Hospital.
Where were you in the vehicle?
In the back. My partner was on the drive.
Did anything change with the patient's stability while in transport?
No.
Did you speak with the parents?
Yes. The father.
You didn't speak with mother?
No.
How would you describe the father?
Overwhelmed. Good and distraught.
Did the father say anything to you?
Yeah, he said they fell. That's all he gave me. He said he fell. I asked what happened.
So he didn't provide you any more details?
You know, he fell.
Is this a normal reaction for a guardian to spare important details about the injury of their child?
No.
So you would say that, did that raise concern?
It did.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Riggs.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Good and you?
I'm doing well. You said you graduated from CCC.
Yes.
What does that stand for?
Howard Community College.
And what year did you graduate?
2002.
And how old were you when you graduated?
Sorry, 2022. Sorry, 2022.
And how old were you when you graduated?
23.
How long have you been in the EMS responder?
3 years. 3 years. I'm going on 3.
When you arrived at the scene, the police officers were there.
Yes.
And when you left, they were still there?
I don't remember that much. I don't know.
When you first responded to the call, it was a high alert for medical attention, correct? But you walked into the scene and you spoke to the father first. You assessed the parents, and then you approached the child.
Yes.
And you said you didn't do any assessment of his health at the scene.
No.
You transported him straight to the hospital.
I did things inside the ambulance.
What things did you do inside the ambulance?
I checked his vitals. well as assessing the raccoon out of the ice packs on them to lessen the damage. And then blood pressure, all of that, those things. And I also IV fluids as well.
As a medical professional, you are familiar with raccoon eyes.
In a way,
So you do know it takes about 24 to 72 hours for them to show up.
in some cases, it can happen before, depending on the severity.
And on the day of the incident, when you took the child into the ambulance, did you strip him?
Yes, for the burn, that's why I found the burn marks.
But you stripped him in the ambulance.
Yes,
So the cops did not see those burns?
no, so no.
Tell us a little bit about transporting him to the hospital. Who was in the ambulance?
The mother and the father.
But usually, how many people are in the ambulance when you transport somebody in need of help?
Just myself.
But that day, the defendant, Ricardo Foreman, made it a point to be beside his child in that moment of tragedy.
That's correct.
You said he looked
Distraught.
and overwhelmed, withdrawn from the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that when responding to tragedy, especially for the first time, since you are well versed in this, you deal with it all the time, that it's normal for a person to be in shock, for a person to be withdrawn when they see something so horrific happen to their child?
In a way, yeah.
Could you describe to us Mr. Ricardo Foreman's attitude towards you when you asked him a question?
He was very compliant. There was no problem with him at all.
So he never showed you aggression or lack of cooperation?
No.
What about Miss Taylor White? Tell us a little bit about her.
Her as well, she was quite compliant and really talked to her.
Was she crying, sobbing?
I didn't really see her at all.
You didn't see her almost at all?
Well, I probably saw her, she was okay, she cried, the father went out. I didn't talk to her very well.
And you said that when you walked into the scene, the child was by the father.
I guess so, yeah.
And where was Miss Taylor White?
In the living room. That's where it happened.
Thank you. No further questions.
Regret. You mentioned that. Arguments witness.
I'd like to call Federico Garcia to stand.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Good morning. Could you state your name and occupation for the record?
Yes, my name is Federico Polanco Garcia. I am the responding EMT.
And how long have you been the responding EMT?
I've been doing it for about 5 to 6 years.
And what training do you have?
So I went to TCC around 2018, studied the AMS program. During my senior year, I did summer internships with the Chesapeake Career Hospital Center. So I did ride-alongs, I focused my education on that. I also did 1 year of not studying after graduating from TCC. And then after that, I went to ODU, picked up my extra 2 years, transferred my credits, and went from 2023, I've been working straight as EMT.
And were you working alongside your partner, Tyler Hayes, on the night of April 12th, 2027?
Yes, sir.
And were you dispatched to a crime scene that night?
Yes, sir.
And what did you observe from the crime scene?
So first, we noticed the responding officers were there before us. So I had my partner talk to one of the responding officers. We rushed in. He did a quick, what happened. He told my partner what happened. He reported back to me. We entered. I see the kid crying. My partner talks to the parents for for just a little bit to see, clarification what happened. And he tells me what happened. Kid fell from the couch, started crying uncontrollably. So we go to him, and I see how he's holding his head on this side of his head. So I decide to quickly inspect it. I see a big bump. So once I see that, I see the kid start looking at me, and I'm trying to tell him to calm down. See everything's gonna be okay. Trying to calm the patient, and I see these big black bags around his eyes. So something in me clicked. I'm like, that's not normal. If a kid was tired, he would have that under his eyes, not all around. So I imagined something was wrong. Either blood flow was going too much towards his eyes. So I decided to do a quick examination, and I decided to treat him as he had a skull fracture of whatever sort, because I didn't want to risk anything. So I tell my partner to go get a spine board, and also to bring some ice compression packs, which is our sandwich ice packs, to help treat the bump. He comes in, I tell him to also bring a neck collar, so he gives that all in one go. We put the patient 15 to 30 degrees. It's at elevated, maintain proper airflow. And then after we did that, we transported back into the ambulance in the back. And then I decided to check for some extra injuries just in case. And I see on his left bicep, right chest, right leg, he had 30-degree burn marks. So, during that time, I didn't want to think too much of it. I just wanted to treat him as best as I could. So I told my partner to get some IV fluids in to help treat it, and to get some bottled water, put a little bit on the rag to help cool it down. Because if you get ice water or hot water, it will make it even worse. Because of how heat and cold water reacts with kinetic energy, it will just start to clash. So I got room temperature water, and I told him to make sure to take his vitals, make sure he's conscious, make sure you're talking to him, and not to fall in a coma or anything. Both parents were on the back, and I was driving, and yeah.
And at the crime scene, did you speak to either other parents or while they were in?
I did. My partner did.
Okay. No further questions.
Cross.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Garcia.
Morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm great.
You stated that when you arrived at the scene, the child was, of course, in need of medical attention,
Yes.
and you said you did aid him that medical attention at the scene.
Yes.
And so your partner helped you aid that medical attention at the scene?
Yes.
When you were both doing that, what were both of the parents of the child?
Where was it? I didn't pay too much attention to it. Like I said, my partner was the one who went to go question them. When we walked in, it's an apartment, so as soon as I walk in, I see the living room, I see the kid, crying, so I just go straight to him, make sure everything's okay.
You mentioned the bruises around his eyes.
Yes.
Could you tell us in a little more medical terms what that's called?
So those are called raccoon eyes. So raccoon eyes are generally a symptom when a child suffers a great pain or a great hit to the head. It causes some amount of blood flow to go towards the front part of his face, and it starts accumulating all over it. So it starts to become bruised, essentially looking like two black eyes.
And as a medical professional, you are familiar with this injury?
Yes.
So you do know it takes about 24 to 72 hours for it to form?
Yes. In certain circumstances, it has happened that child, because of how young they are, that it's more easily for them to develop those symptoms.
Completely understandable. But is it also possible that those raccoon eyes or even a head injury could have been sustained before and the raccoon eyes started to develop after he hit his head once again?
Well, the raccoon eyes, in order for it to be able to develop, it has to be an injury towards the head. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, like I said, my main job wasn't to question or to, see what happened. My job was to treat the patient as quickly as I can,
No,
give
yes.
him as fast as I can.
Mr. Garcia, I believe we're having a little bit of a miscommunication. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Go ahead.
So, the recognized. Could it have been that there was a prior head injury and that after he fell, the recognized developed?
Yes, absolutely.
And at the scene, who was in the ambulance?
So it was just me and my partner, and then once we were leaving, like I said, parents asked, both of them wanted to come along, and asked my partner, and he said it was fine, so both parents went with them, and yeah, it was just us, parents, 2, 3, 4, us 4.
When you walked into the scene, who was by the child?
Excuse me?
Who was by the child when you walked into the scene?
Father. Father was, he was just in awe shock, he didn't know how to process it, like, similar situation happened with my younger brother, my mom didn't know what to do, so she's just crying for the kid.
So you would say that it's a common reaction for the parent to be shocked, distraught, withdrawn from that horrific situation?
Absolutely.
When did you receive the call to get dispatched?
So we were dispatched around 1955, which is 7:55 p.m. That's when we were dispatched.
And when did they tell you the incident happened?
They didn't necessarily tell us what time. We were just dispatched, so we arrived at scene like around 20:05, which is 8:05 p.m.
And when you arrived at the scene and you saw the child, you immediately went to him.
Yes.
And your partner immediately went to speak to the parents.
Yes. So what he did was, when we got there, officers were there. We did like a quick, hey, what happened? They told us what happened. We went in. I said, asked the parents to double check, what happened, because parents and there can be miscommunication. He quickly talks to them, and he quickly comes to me while I was, treating the child.
Did your partner speak to both parents?
That I do not know. I think he spoke to the father. I don't know if he spoke to both of them.
And when you left with the child, were the cops still there?
I believe so.
So they did not leave before you?
I don't think so.
When you arrived at the hospital, how did that look?
So when we arrived there, I help out, people are coming in, I did a quick, hey, to the hospital, hey, we have a kid that might have skull fracture or something. So when we arrived, they quickly transported him. I helped them unload with my partner, so they unloaded him and sent him to emergency.
And you said you saw burns at the scene?
Yes.
So did you and your partner strip the child at the scene?
Yes. Once in the back of the ambulance. We do that to.
So at the scene or at the back of the ambulance?
In the back of the ambulance.
Okay. And was the aid given at the back of the ambulance or at the scene?
In the back of the ambulance.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying. During the ride to the hospital, how would you say the parents were?
I guess they were calm. I don't know, because I was driving. So.
Could you hear anything? Any arguing? Any screaming? Shouting?
I couldn't hear any argument. I just heard like a lot of just worrying. Just like, I hope he's doing okay. It's just.
From both parents?
Yeah.
Thank you for your question.
Right, that's what.
Good, let's call Saya for meetings and stand.
Raise your hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Can you state your name and occupation for the record?
My name is Saya Polvino. I am a forensic pediatric nurse
Where are you employed?
at the CCC hospital.
And how many years have you worked there?
I've worked there for 7 years now.
Do you have any degrees or licenses?
I have a bachelor's in science of nursing.
Were you on duty at the hospital on April 12th?
Yes, I was.
Did the patient MR come under your care?
Yes.
What was reported to you as to how the injuries occurred?
I was not given much of a mechanism for injuries, just that there was a fall.
Can you describe the patient's condition physically and mentally?
He was crying and wailing, and he had burns on his left bicep, his right chest, and his right upper leg. They were third-degree burns, so there was nerve damage.
Were there any other physical signs of trauma?
Yes, he was developing recognize, and he had a skull fracture right above here.
Did you assess the patient's neurological responsiveness?
Yes, he was responsive.
What specific diagnosis signs did you observe?
I'm sorry?
What specific diagnosis signs did you observe?
He had burns and he was crying, and there was a bump right where the skull fracture was. He was developing recognize, which is the bruising right on here.
What treatments and/or assessments were provided?
I gave him a small amount of morphine for pain through an IV, right in his forearm. I also gave him cetirizine, which is an antibiotic with no penicillin in it because he is allergic to penicillin, and it's to prevent and treat skin infections that can happen after burns.
So you reported the allergy to penicillin and there was no concern of virus, correct?
Yeah.
Did the injuries raise concern?
Yes, because they didn't look like an accidental fall.
Can you describe why?
Well, the impact on its body it had was not like something from a small fall off like a couch or a table or something like that. It looked a lot more severe, and those burns were not explained.
Did the injuries require a significant amount of force?
Yes.
So more than a simple fall.
It's more than a simple fall.
Were the child injuries consistent with the defendant's story? Do you stand by the medical findings?
Yes, I do.
No further questions.
Cross.
Yes, Your Honor. Morning, Side.
Good morning.
Where were you stationed when the child first came in?
I was in the pediatric wing of the Chesapeake Freestyle Hospital.
And then what injuries did you first see?
I saw the bruising in his eyes and the eyes, and he was crying.
Did he have any clothes on?
Yes, he had one still.
He did have clothes on. And then what did EMS tell you about the injuries?
That he had fallen,
He had what?
that he had fallen.
Did they tell you anything else, any details of what, maybe how they treated him on transportation? It's okay if not. Did you observe the father at the hospital?
Yes.
How did he seem?
He seemed nervous.
Was he cooperative with staff?
Yes.
Did he tell you at all what happened? Did you ask him?
Yes, he told me that the child had a simple fall, and that was it. Nothing else was explained.
Did you do anything to help the child? Any treatment?
Well, yeah, I gave him medication for the pain and skin infection that the burns were going to cause. and we did assess his head. He was like mentally, his head was all right, but the physical damage was there.
Did you do anything to help his dad or anything like that?
The doctor did it.
And then, did you see the dad stay the whole time? No.
Got that. Okay, what?
Let's go up here, Carter, to stand.
Raise your hand. Do you swear or tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Good morning. Could you state your name and occupation for the record?
I'm Dr. Kira Carter, and a doctor, a PEDS doctor.
And how long have you been a doctor?
12 years.
And what training do you have as a doctor?
So I did 4 years undergrad at Howard, and then I did 4 years postgrad at Howard, and I've been at Chesapeake Career Center Hospital for 12 years.
Okay. And were you working the night of April 12th, 2026?
Yes.
And was there a child brought in that night?
Yes.
Did he have any physical injuries?
Yes.
And what were those injuries?
He had 3 third-degree burns on the right side of his chest, his left arm, and his right leg, and he had a basilar skull fracture.
And could you explain what a basilar skull fracture is for the jury?
Yes, basically, a basilar skull fracture is a fracture on the base of your skull.
Okay, well, in the hospital, did you speak to either of the parents?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and did the mother provide any extra details?
No, not really. She just told me that she wasn't in the room and she didn't know what happened.
Okay, and did the father?
He said that the child fell.
And did his explanation match any of the injuries?
So for his skull fracture, that is caused by blunt force trauma, the type of skull fracture that he had, and his third degree burns weren't really elaborated.
Okay. And in your statement, you said you knew the child wasn't in pain, correct?
He wasn't in pain from his burns because they were his nerves were damaged, but from his head he was.
Okay, what was the diagnosis you came up with for the child?
He had a basilar skull fracture and third degree burns.
And did the father's story match any of the injuries?
Not really.
No further questions.
Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Kira Carter.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Good.
Based on your knowledge as a medical professional, the heads and bones of smaller children are known to be soft, quote unquote, spongy, and way more sensitive than those of adults.
Yes.
Hence, the care advised to be taken with the heads of anyone, but especially children.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Hence, we always hear, hold the baby's head or make sure you child-proof your house.
Yeah.
Around what point did MR start developing rapid eyes?
When he was in our care, he had them already in the right.
So you walked in already with rapid eyes.
Yes.
Could you tell us how long that injury takes?
It takes anywhere from a couple of hours to 3 days.
Now, the third-degree burns. Could you describe those to us? What did the burns look
His skin was charred and blistered. There was one on the right side of his chest, one right here, and one on his left leg. And they were about the size of a tennis ball.
Could you show us?
They're like,
And what shape were they in?
not a tennis ball, but a golf ball. They were like this big. They were circular. Circular.
They looked intentional.
Yes.
How, would you be able to tell us how old those burns were?
Definitely over a day old. Like, could have been 3 days old. You know, from 1 to 3 days old. The burns.
What kind of force and flame would have had to been used to cause it?
I'm sorry. Like, what kind of flame or
And force, would you say a match could do that?
a match could do that? Like, fire could do that. Open fire.
But a lot of fire, literally.
I mean, a match, I wouldn't really see a match because it's so small compared to the size of the burns. So I wouldn't see a match. But a good amount of fire could create those burns.
So something like a blowtorch.
Yes.
How long would it take to create that severe of a burn on a child?
Like with what, a blowtorch? Like using what?
Yes, with a blowtorch.
Not long at all. Like it wouldn't take long.
But would the child have reacted?
During?
Yes.
Yeah.
Screamed?
Yeah.
Explain a little bit more about how he would have reacted while being burned.
He would have like went crazy.
Somebody would have heard
Yes.
the shouting, the crying, yelling for help.
Yeah.
Is this something that could have been done alone or in silence?
In silence, burning him? No, because he would have made noise.
Did he have any bruises or struggle, maybe fighting back, asking for help? Being held down?
No.
Not on his wrists? No bruises? Did the severity and placement of those burns push you to call for a social worker?
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Cody. That's all you are.
Cut this way.
Let's go to the city already.
Raise your hand. Do you swear to the truth before you testify to so help you God?
Can you state your name and occupation for the record?
Jalecia Norman, I am a pediatric healthcare social worker,
How long have you been employed in this job?
11 years.
You stated in your report that MR is a friendly, respectful, and generally happy 3-year-old, correct? You also say there's no substance abuse history,
Yes.
and that Ms. Taylor has custody. When conducting your assessment, was MR separated from his parents?
Yes.
Was there any indication of child abuse occurring within the home?
When I asked him questions,
But regarding his behavior, he wasn't frightened.
when I did the evaluation, the patient wasn't in the room at the time, so I was just speaking to him.
Can you describe the behavior from the parents?
The mom was very distraught. She was crying. She kept asking over and over if her son was going to be okay. The dad, not so much. He was more not there. He was more off to the side.
he wasn't responsive when I was trying to ask him questions. I could only get my answers from him.
Did the child show any contempt towards either parent? Like dislike or fear? No further questions.
Rosa,
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Norman. In your statement, you observed a lot of the behavior of the parents. Could you tell us a little bit about your examination of the child?
Like I stated before, I was only talking to the mom and the dad.
So there was no assessment made of the child.
Well, given the injuries that he came in, he was crying a lot, so there wasn't really much I could get out of a 3-year-old.
So no. And what did you get out of his parents?
The mom, the questions I asked her, she was answering them very nicely and cooperatively. The dad, not so much. He was very shut off, very one-word answers, and
But he was answering.
like one-word, like,
But yes.
yeah. And so, but I had to push more with him to get the answers out than the mother. The mother was more easygoing. The father wasn't really responsive.
And the mother of the child, what questions did you ask? What answers did she?
I asked her how long her and the father were together. She told me that they got divorced recently, about a year ago. I asked her why they got divorced. She never gave me an answer on that. And then I was just asking how is the child's behavior at home. Since I couldn't really observe the child, I had to ask the mother how the child was.
So you were relying solely on the testimony of his mother to know how he was doing in his home. So there was no assessment of the child's testimony of how he was being treated out. The child didn't tell you himself how he was being treated out.
Well, he's 3 years old, so
Is that a yes or no question, Ms. Norman?
I guess it's about
Okay, thank you, Dr. No further.
I'm gonna step down. I'm gonna do it.
Everybody here, you swear or something, trust you, supposed to be that, but you.
Where were you living on the night of April 12th, 2026? Where were you living on April 12th, 2026?
In 182 Court apartment complex.
And was the defendant, Jordan Miller, present that day? And what time did he arrive there?
About 6 after work.
Was he left alone with the child at any point of time?
Yes.
And why was he left alone with the child?
Because I went to the kitchen to cook dinner.
What exactly were you cooking?
Chef Boyardee beefaroni, like a good pasta fish.
Well, that problem. We're on suspended so that goes up all the time. So we'll pick up tomorrow. So, thank you. Tomorrow morning, Jerry, when I ask, come back, welcome to this. Like, more,